real estate today is more affordable than in the 80s. So over the last 40 years, it's become way more affordable, not way more, but more affordable to buy a house than in the 80s. Huh? That's crazy. All right, let's unpack this. Let's figure out what I'm talking about. Let's look at this. Here, we're looking at rates. This blue line that's going down a lot, that's all interest rates. This line are people's income, not going up that much, right? This line is the actual price of real estate. So, what am I talking about? How was it more expensive to buy a house here, right? Where the prices were almost at all-time low, right? Versus here. This is crazy because income hasn't gone up. So let's take a quick look at this. U.S. Forbes, an article here from Forbes magazine about actually the housing prices have become more affordable. It's crazy because let's take a look at it. Think about it this way. First off, time equals money, or money equals time. Essentially what money is just an increment of time. So when you go to work, you make an hourly wage, right? So let's take a look at this graph, this table here, which I think is very, very interesting. Okay, this would sum it up, and I'm going to put this in the notes so that way you guys can take a look at it and follow along. But I'm going to flip the camera again and show you a couple things. So let's see, median house price in 1980 was $64,000. Today, or not today, but let's say 2020, this is $336,000. That's a 421% increase. So obviously you guys can see all this. One big factor though, look at the square footage. Houses have gone up in size. So also our lifestyle and our preferences, we started wanting bigger homes. So that's a 41% increase from 1980 to now. Now, if you look at the sales median price per square foot, now that's a key factor right here. We always want to look at price per square foot because whenever we're shopping for a property, whenever I'm helping clients buy a property, that price per square foot is key. That's going to determine, right, how big of a house you want. The average price per square foot in your market is X. You multiply that, that's what the price of the house is going to be, right? So one big major thing to understand is that houses have been getting bigger. So of course, the price is going to go up exponentially as well. So now let's take a look at rates. That's the other key factor. 30-year fixed rate mortgages in the 80s were at 13.74%. Right now, 3.11. That's a 77% decrease, right? So if when we look at this chart right here, you can clearly see that the price of real estate to the price or the interest rate is in direct correlation, but on an inverse, right? So then we take a look at here, monthly payment price per square foot. Or actually, no, let's take a look at actually the monthly payment. $752 in 1980, $1,400 today on average. It's a 91% increase. Monthly payment price per square foot still increase a little bit, but only by 35%, not 421%. So essentially, this is what you're feeling, right? This is what you're feeling when you're making your mortgage payments. Now, blue collar hourly compensation in the 80s was about $9. In the 20s or 2020, you're at $32, 256% increase. Now, monthly payment price, when you actually take it and you increment it out by how much it is per hour, right? Because time equals money. Monthly payment time price in hours. So in the 80s, since you only made $9 and your interest rate was this much, you essentially have to work 82 hours just to make that payment. Versus today, 44 hours to make that payment. That's a decrease of 46%. Monthly payment time price in minutes per square foot. Again, you got to look at the per square foot, right? Because if you just look at just the average price. Like, for example, when you look at this one, all we're looking at is the price. There's no square footage in here. So it's not a price per square foot increase as much as, yes, of course, there has been price per square foot increase, a huge increase in the price per square foot. But if you look at it here, right, in minutes and how much you've made, taking all things into account, monthly payment, time, price, in minutes per square foot is 3.10 versus 1.1. That's a decrease, right? So time, price, and hours. So how many hours do you actually have to work in order to per square foot? It's very, very minimal. Household size has also gone down though, right? So you actually have 2.76 versus 2.53. That's a decrease. And then of course, square feet per household has gone up. So that means each member per household member used to only live in about 578 square feet. Now we're living in about almost 900. So that's a 54 increase. So our appetite has increased, right? Our wages have increased. So have the prices of the homes increased along with the appetite as well as inflation. And then, of course, now you're looking at what has majorly decreased by 74% is that interest rate. So that's a huge, huge, interesting way of looking at real estate, I thought. So I'll send this up, put this in the notes. And obviously, it's kind of a weird way, or a mind shift in order to think this way. But it's really, there's a lot of factors that come in that are involved with the real estate. Now, of course, the actual price itself and the growth and so on, that's pretty easy to see. And you're like, oh my God, it's so expensive. But again, if you look at it from a appetite of the United States average person who wants a bigger home. Secondly, you look at exactly like what we just said, is if you take time and money and per square foot, it's gone down. Weird. All right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Talk to you soon.